All right, fun and excitement. Oh, we've got a microphone over here somewhere. Here we go. Put the microphone in our face so that way we can be heard. Well, I guess we didn't check our sound levels. We still haven't learned our lesson from not checking our sound levels. Welcome back. It's been a little while. I apologize. I've been off in the. I don't even know where I've been, to be honest with you. But it's been. Let's update the name of what today's stream is about. There we go. Whoop, whoop. That is definitely wrong. Rodney should fix that. Plugins. There we go. All right. Done. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Sextant. A couple of weeks, months, or a month or so ago now, a month and a half ago, I did a presentation on SocialQ, which is the app that we are looking at right now. Let me make sure my... Okay. You don't have to see all of my horrible background stuff. Yeah, it seems like my audio is picking up. Seems like everything is green. So yeah, we're good to go. We're going to keep going. Act like we know what's going on. We talked about SocialQ then. SocialQ is a mobile app that I built for the talk. One of the features that it had on it... Pardon me. Let me get some of this tea. There we go. Hey, the window, the door. Okay, we'll try this again. One of the things that SocialQ was dependent on was a external Git module. So I should run through my... Okay, obviously these are all wrong. So let's just get rid of that. We had a Git submodule in here that we took out because there's a new feature that just shipped with Sextant 2.8, which is Sextant.Plugins.Popups. So it's a wrapper around the RG plugin pop-ups that ties into the Sextant navigation service. And I built it for this application. Well, not for this application. I built it because the library needed it, but I built it as a feature towards the conference, the RxUI conference. And what ended up happening was I ended up not releasing it before the conference because, you know, life and things and stuff and whatnot. But I finally got it shipped earlier this week, and I took the submodule out, and I have put all of the bits in around Sextant. So that's exactly why it's blowing up. So let's talk about that. What that means is stuff like here in our view model base. Let's go look at the thing. In our view model base, we were taking in, prior to this, we were taking in a iParameter view stack service. Now we're taking in an iPopup view stack service, and we'll go ahead and take a quick look at that. And this is the feature as it was, right? So like we're using Sextant.Plugins.Popup, and we are taking all the functionality. So this is a relationship because we're doing inheritance. So iPopup view stack service is a iParameter view stack service, and we have some additional methods and stuff, some observables that are getting pushed, which are wrapping events that are coming out of RG plugins pop-up. Good. We've got the pop-up stack, which is, you know, simple, just I read only list. I push the pop-up. I push the pop-up with a view model instance, you know, so I've got the ability to do all this stuff. And then I get to the iNavigable push, so I can push a pop-up with navigation parameters. And this is really the sell, right? I wanted to be able to do this because there's actually functionality in this app that depends on it that's crashing, which is what we're going to try and look at today. We're going to try and fix that. What I tried to do was make it so that I could use this iNavigable interface, which is just, of course you can't see it. I have to let's dig all the way down to the bottom. It gives me a when navigated to and when navigated from, and it gives me a when navigating to. I guess you could technically do when navigating from, but why do you care? Like, it's hard enough to justify the when navigated from, let alone the when navigating from. But so we've got a lot of different stuff here. We can pass in a view model by type and get it out of the IOC container or IOC container of choice. One function that I did not implement a pop-up that gives me the ability to deal with navigated from. I ran into some issues with the implementation, and I felt like pushing the library or pushing the feature and coming back later and fixing this one use case was better than not shipping the feature, right? Like, how many times have we all had some code that's been ready to ship and we just haven't shipped it because there's like this one last thing. I stand here before you today saying I did a bad thing. I backed out that change and pushed the code because everything was passing except for like a couple of unit tests on one individual function. So I took the function out. And when it becomes a thing and I need to solve the problem, I'll solve the problem. But I haven't needed to solve it yet, so it was really just a nice to have. I should probably be a good steward and put an issue on my GitHub so that way somebody can come back behind me and fix it for me. Yeah. Anyway, so there's some bomb. It's tea, though. There's a Kermit the Frog meme. Anyway. All right, so we've got all pop-ups. So this is just an abstraction on top of the iNavigation service. So I swapped over the application to use the oh, did I really just do that? I did. Rodney, you're so smart. All right. So I've got this pop-up navigation service thing. Oh, it's going right back into the what you call it. But we want to go back to where we're setting this up. I apologize. I had my window open because it's nice outside and I was trying to get some like fresh air, and then one of the neighbor's kids comes outside crying for most likely no reason, because that's generally been my experience. Most of the time kids just cry just because they want attention, not because there's something actually wrong with them. But I don't have any children, as my sister will tell you, so what do I know? Anyway, stuff, things, there are things that are pinned. That's the store service. I love how the solution is in the exact way that I left it from the talk that I gave. And I haven't opened the solution but like twice in that last month. That is awesome. Okay, great. So we got rid of all that stuff. The iPop-up navigation server, iPop-up view stack service is what we're talking about. We're doing things and stuff. This is wonderful. Okay. That's a singleton and those are transients. That might be a problem. Might be part of my problem. All right, so let's do a find I parameter stack. I don't even know if we've actually talked about like what it is that we're trying to do here today. So what it is we're trying to do here today. Was that not? Oh, that's awesome. Reason 534 why I love inheritance. So I have been having some conversations recently about inheritance versus composition, which is like the age-old conversation, or one of the age-old conversations that we have in our industry. It's not that I'm not a fan of inheritance. I think that inheritance has pun intended, inheritance has inherent problems that we sometimes don't see until it's too late. So I would always, these days, I tend to move more towards parameter view stack. I tend to go more towards the object composition route. Oh, yeah. I did a thing I probably shouldn't have done. So in the previous iteration of this Sextant plugin pop-ups, my iPop-up view stack service was actually not is a or a has a. It was a completely different interface. And I had a conversation with Anais Betts, the creator of Reactive UI, and somebody that I ask questions to because she's smart and has done these things already. So, why would I try and be smart on my own if I can be smart with somebody's help? So I was talking to her about how I should lay out this interface, and she was like, well, do you really want two services that you have to inject? And I'm like, not really. Like, do you want to just do everything through one thing? I'm like, yeah, I just want to inject one interface and do the thing. So now I'm at the one interface to rule them all. As you saw, that interface is a parameter view stack service, which means the implementation respects it. So now I can just pass in if I want to use Sextant plugin pop-ups, I can just pass in iPopup view stack service, and that iPopup view stack service will handle both. Now there's registration tricks that I can do to get it to which is what I just had, right? I just had a registration trick that allows me to register the same interface to the same interface to the same implementation. Talking. But what I have here now, in all honesty, is no need for this, because now it's just one interface that does it all. So now I can just do this one interface. And candidly, I don't know if this was the right decision or not, but it's the decision that I made. So, a consumer somewhere in the future will hopefully educate me on why I made the wrong decision. And I will gladly listen. If it's one thing I do try to be, I try to be malleable, right? Because I don't know everything. It's funny because listen to some of my colleagues, they're like, oh, I tell them flat out I'm not that smart. And they tell me, oh, Rodney, don't self-deprecate. But I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. Like, I understand some things. I can get by, but I see some of these guys and they're doing ridiculous things, and I'm just over here trying to get by. So, but I apologize. I have this. It's this time of year. I always get upper respiratory issues, and of course, because we're in the middle of this COVID concept, I'm freaking out because my normal upper respiratory thing is probably COVID, but it's probably not. But regardless, you hear the stuff in my chest that wants to come up every second, which is part of the reason why I'm drinking this tea. It's got local Texas-made honey in my tea, which helps the pollens and the allergens in my body to guard against the stuffs, because I'm putting it in my body all by myself. Right, what is this, health hour? We're here for code. Shut up and show us more code. Why don't we do that? So we got all that stuff wired up. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. I was firing this up earlier, and I'll bring up the simulator. I was firing this thing up earlier, and it was doing some really weird stuff. It was throwing an exception. So we'll see if it still throws that exception, which I'm honestly hoping that it does throw that exception, because that's going to be a fun... Oh, I have my hand over my face. It's going to be a fun exception to deal with. Somebody joined. So I don't know if Cam Zone, code is better with tea. Welcome. And yes, tea, coffee, whatever your poison is, man, use it, drink it. And I like tea at this time of night, because if I drink coffee at this late at night, it's 7 o'clock here. If I drink coffee this late at night, I may very well not go to sleep tonight, and I'll be up here coding long after I get off the live stream. Let's do a .NET restore. Force -no -cache. So it seems Pharmacist is playing the game that it always plays with me and not wanting to resolve the things. So let's go check our dependencies and make sure that we actually have done the right stuff, because I did make some changes. The right stuff in that, yeah, that's like an 80s thing. Pharmacist common, so Pharmacist is there. So let's yank Pharmacist. Save it. Oh yeah, the last thing that we put in was Aurora controls. So now we actually have Aurora controls that we can play around with. Michael Stonis and the 8bot crew was generous enough to donate a license for us to play around with live. So we'll be definitely playing around with that over the next couple of weeks when we start playing with this app more. But I'm really, really starting to get upset. Come on, Pharmacist, do the thing. Find all the packages. Okay, so then we're going to do this the hard way. We're gonna go to the file system, and so it's funny. Somebody sent me a script earlier. Like there's a script that I want to say James Montemagno pushed, and people have all created their own variations of this script. But James had one not too long ago that he put on a blog post, which does the normal Xamarin thing of just clearing out all the. Yeah, let's get rid of that altogether. That clears out all the bin and OBJ folders. I still prefer to do it manually. I had a really bad, experience with recursion once and the file system. And I know that you're like, right, it has nothing to do with recursion, but it does, because I think it's like a grep command or something like that. But long and short, I'm just like, even he said in that blog post, hey, you got to run this at the right point in the directory structure, or you will blow away a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, So whenever I'm faced with stuff like that, you know what? I'll take the couple of seconds to do it manually, because, automation is great, but automation that causes more consternation is really just a pain in the ass. Hey, I should write that down. That sounds like a really fun quote. I actually bit off of another quote that a friend of mine did that had that same cadence, so it's not the same, but la 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 la. We are hitting the refresh button in here. Restored 6 packages. Hopefully one of them is pharmacist, and hopefully our events stop being read and start being correct. Android, you are just going to be a problem for me this week, aren't you? Can't resolve symbol events. Ryder is telling me that there are inspection warnings. I'm getting 7 errors in the IDE. But if I execute now, because sometimes pharmacist doesn't pick up right away, so if I execute now, maybe this will all work. You already mentioned it, but sorry. Yes. Sorry, I'm just seeing your question, Kenzon. Yes, iPopup view stack service. So yeah, let's talk about that again. I know I just talked about it, but I don't care. I actually enjoy talking to people live on the live stream, so taking a second to go back and rehash something I already rehashed is like whatever. I'm not stuck up like that. Let's do the thing. Let's talk about it. So yeah, iPopup view stack service, right, is a iParameter view stack service. So it is meant to be the successor of it when you are explicitly using Sextant.Plugins.Popup. So instead of having an iPlugin or iPopup service and an iParameter service and having to manage 2 services yourself, I'm going to just give you one extension point to rule them all. You can get access to everything. Now you can do all your normal navigation through iPopup view stack service and get access to the pop-up stuff with the understanding that you are using RG plugin pop-ups under the hood. So that's exactly what that is supposed to do. It is meant to replace it in the event that you take a dependency on the Sextant plugins pop-up package. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so oh, come on, pharmacist. Work with me, pharmacist. Work with me, because I know you're doing your thing, right? I can tell you're doing your thing because I know that you're doing your thing. If I go in here and I go to my OBJ directory, and in my OBJ directory there's going to be a, yep, here we go. Here's the .json, here's the targets. No, it's not. It's not doing the thing. NuGet.g.props. So it's doing some of it, which means pharmacist is erroring out somewhere. That's the Fody one, which we don't care about. Well, we don't care about it right now. What we are trying to prove is that pharmacist does the thing it's supposed to do, and it seems like it's not doing that, and that is going to make me extremely sad. Because we need it to do the thing. That's the NuGet cache that it creates. That's the NuGet.g. There should be a NuGet.g.cs in here. Or maybe it's going to be in the debug. Here it is. Pharmacist.nuget.g.cs. Okay, so it's... Pharmacist is generating the thing. And I have a feeling this has to do with the fact that I'm running .NET 5 now. I've been having some really weird issues with .NET 5 installed. What is my command line thing to get rid of? How do I uninstall? Uninstall .NET version. Remove the runtime. Oh, I'm supposed to go be doing stuff. No, I don't want to. No, I just want to do it from the. Okay, so I feel like I should be able to do like .NET, be like .NET uninstall. This is where I'm going to prove to you that I haven't like .NET uninstall dash help. .NET install maybe. Let's figure this out. Could not execute because specified command or file was what? Whoa. Hold on. .NET. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's because of my .NET version. Oh, and you want me to depend on .NET 5, and I don't even, like, I haven't even changed anything in my project. I just have it installed, and it's causing me issues. Oh, and I just got done talking today about how it's such a great time to be a .NET developer, and it's the cutting edge and bleeding edge of technology, and .NET 5 is going to be amazing. And then, not 3 hours later, here I am getting punched in the face by my own words. Yeah, Corey said he was going to call me out later on that, so I hope he does when that happens. And I'm like, oh, new language. Rodney likes list dash dash. Okay, so then .NET. How do I? I know I can just go to the folder and remove it, but I was trying to be smart and go, the not so. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, so I should be able to like do a. What is the? Now is the question: is the .NET thing discoverable? Clean, build, remove a package reference. That removes package references. How do I get it to remove a version of itself? Can you do that level of inception is the question. Those are just going to add packages. What I need you to do is remove an SDK. I don't know if you can do that. Okay, so we'll just stop trying for the moment, and we'll come in here and Control-Shift-Dot. We need the user directory. Where is the user directory? User directory is it's out of level from where I am. I don't have the key command for this memorized. Oh, I guess that is the right one. I could have had that. Go to computer, user. What is it? User. Oh, I had it. There we go. .NET list SDKs, user local share .NET SDK go away .NET 5. Now the question is, am I gonna have to restart Rider? I love how we get to just live test like random stuff. What is my password? I think that's my password. Hey, that was my password because it got rid of it. Now if I just rerun that command, and if I do .NET version, I'm running 3.4.1. So now if I run an actual NuGet thing and restore, do the thing, is it that simple? Like, can we make it that simple? Is it going to be that simple for me? Yeah, I'm on a Mac, so I had to actually, the core uninstall tool. So yeah, okay, .NET Core uninstall list, install the tool, right? Yeah, that's what I was looking for, the run the tool. That's weird. I feel like .NET should be able to understand well enough to how to uninstall itself. Otherwise, I feel like it should be smart enough to do that. I could be asking a lot. But, eh. Alright, so we will get rid of this. These things. Oh yeah, the other thing about that is in Rider it actually makes it pretty easy. Guy could just come here and turn on this thing and then click these. Come on, this thing. Here I am singing Rider's praises, and then right after I say, hey, yo, yeah, Rider's awesome, Rider goes and does something ridiculous to me. Because that's the way the world works. Okay. That and my computer is like now spinning out of control. Like it literally sounds like it's about to take off. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll refresh. We'll restore the packages. Restore 2 packages. It's doing event stuff. Maybe could not find. Xamarin Forms low warning. Could not find file. What does the restore log tell me? Restore and restore. Yeah, I get all that. Yay, yay, yay. I should be able to do a find in here, right? Find .g.cs. Nowhere did we create a .g.cs. But I know pharmacist did something, right? And I can go check to see if pharmacist... Oh, did we... We had to get rid of this and this, right? So that goes away. Delete. All right, that's that one. And then this one matters because it matters. So now we come here, go to terminal, do .NET restore, force it, no cache. So we'll force the restore. Which should force pharmacist to redo its thing. Could not find file DLL. Why does it need to find that though? Okay. I think we're good here. All right, so I'm gonna spend this whole time debugging and figuring out why. I feel like I do this every single live stream though. That is very, very depressing. What am I missing here? Because like that's the OBJ folder. The OBJ folder we already said should have a... You should have like an obj.debug. Oh, that's... Yeah, something is actually interfering with pharmacist if I had to guess. I may just go back down to Reactive UI Xamarin Events package just for the moment because this is really starting to become annoying. And I don't want to deal with any of this right now. I just want my flipping code to work. Yeah, so you get to see it live, right? Like, you know, somebody that just wants their code to work and it's their own code that they're depending on to work, right? Yikes. Android load with warnings. I don't even know what this warning is. Let's go click Google. Okay, more nonsense. Why does this thing keep opening back up? Can we just like, can we kill that for the weekend? Okay, anyway. All right. I'm going to give this one more very explicit go. And I'm going to come down to this level. I'm going to get those. I'm going to open this up and let me get... that one, and that one. And we're going to take all those and we're going to delete them. Yep, 4 folders. That should be 6 folders, but now let's cancel that because now I'm intrigued. It's 4 folders. Delete 1 folder, comma, 5 folders. Okay, Ryder. Apparently, I'm the one who's drunk. Starting to get annoyed. Like I said, there's nothing better than like spending a full week full of running into problems and solving problems to come to the live stream where everything's supposed to like be easy going and like you're dealing with problems. This is supposed to be the fun stuff, yeah? Okay, so those are all the things that I have installed or controls I have installed. That's coming from a third. Oh! No, because this is publicly downloaded from NuGet. Boo you. No, that's not the case. I was about to think that I know there's an issue where private NuGet feeds don't work, but I'm not pulling anything from anybody's private NuGet feed. Like I just did that check. All right, so what, pray tell, am I doing wrong here? Clean the solution. Android is just broken for the moment. That's fine. Be broken, Android. I'll come back and deal with you later. Build the entire solution. And that is direct result let's do find namespace. There's 28 different namespaces. So now we're getting really deep into the weeds. We're getting into how pharmacist actually works. Okay, so, okay, yep, there we go. So we've already got this, which, okay, yep. So then why is this, okay, is this an EAP Rider issue? Let's, okay, maybe Rodney's causing more problems than he needs to. Let's go back to 2020.4. Let's load this whole solution in something that's not EAP and see if we just found an EAP issue. Right? Camzone's got the popcorn out like, oh yeah, Rodney, what you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now, Moses? What are you gonna do now? Close. Come on, work with me, computer. Oh man, I just want these things to work. Come on, reactive UI. I want to open up reactive marbles. I want to open up SocialQ. Some days I question, am I really smarter than a 5th grader? I'm honestly starting to lean towards like my niece is smarter than me. Jeez. All right, what do we got here? We've got a thing with stuff when I load. Ooh. Solution was loaded with 2 warnings. And I know you guys can't see my screen, but I'm just checking to see if... Well, what do you know? This has to be a direct result of the fact that this thing was open before. All right, so we're going to come over here to the OBS screen, and we're going to do magic. I'm just going to magically appear a brand new Rider instance right there where the old Rider instance used to be, yeah? JetBrains Rider. There we go. Oh, don't tell me you're broken now too. It was working. There we go. At least it's okay. So now it's saying import missing file reference. That seems scary, actually. Yeah, those things are definitely not what I expect them to be. Or maybe they are. Get or set the item source. Okay. I love how like this is extremely difficult. Use method. No. No. Yep, now we're back to cooking with gasoline. Okay. So I'm going to have to point that out to somebody who's going to care. All right. So now if we run the thing, because it's always a question of, am I doing this right? What did I break? So like when developers call me and they're like, hey, Rodney, I got this problem. I'm like, oh, what'd I break? Like, well, no, you didn't break anything. You sure? I've been writing code all day. I broke something. I promise you I did. Hey, all right. So, okay, so the initial navigation works, which was my experience earlier. So now we're finally, 20 minutes later, back to where we wanted to be from the beginning. Start. All right, so now we can click the search button. Search will do the things, and we'll open up our OSO performant collection. I think it's a collection, but you have to check. I don't know. We'll go to Sam's Club. We click on it, and we'll notice that the thing doesn't work how it used to. So before, this used to provide data to it, and it used to be able to get things out. I have a feeling there's an exception being thrown somewhere that I'm not seeing, so we're going to look at that in a second. Not to mention the fact that the screen isn't fully resolving, so that's like a whole nother can of worms that I got to figure out how to solve. Or maybe that's right, the color is contextual based upon which one you pick. Derp. Yeah, going back and looking at code I wrote like months and weeks ago. What was that? Was it store detail? That seems like that would have been store detail, right? So store detail, store card view would have been store name, category, current weight, add. Yep, here we go, add command. Boom. So now if we come here and we go there to our actual view model, we will see that we are doing the thing. What we should expect is that breakpoint to light up when something happens. So maybe, yeah, this already looks like I broke something, and I'm gonna have to go back and fix something in Sextant, because, if you're not failing fast, why fail at all? Oh no, so it is, oh, this is where it's gonna blow up, because the store is null. Perfect. So here's where my error is. My error is that the store is null. The store is null because my when executing is not getting, when navigated to is not getting called correctly. Yeah. Okay. So at least that tells me why that's happening. So now I can go back and like potentially fix that. Check expression for null. Why would we do these things? Just let it be null and let it error. It'll be okay. I could actually probably technically even just get it out by GUID. I don't know. I don't know if my try get value implementation supports that. It does not. It's good to know. So let's go look at that. That should just be the dictionary's try get value, right? Yep, that is the dictionary implementation try get value. So I can write a try get value wrapper around it and just put a generic type parameter on it and allow you to. No. This doesn't care what I return. moments where I start to prove that I'm really not the developer that you think I am. These are not the droids you're looking for. Yeah, I can't, okay, so I can't do it that way. I would have to write my own method that's something like a try get value on GUID, and then I'm able to just out the whatever the value is of the thing or whatever. That's weird. That's extremely weird to me, but okay. All right, so what are we actually getting accomplished tonight? I don't know. I don't know that we've actually gotten anything accomplished other than we're finding some issues with Ryder and finding that we still don't know how to do Wind Navigated 2. So let's, at this point, let's start digging into the core of the framework. Yay! Are you gonna let me do it? Go to implementations. Yes, Key Promoter X, you are smart. I am not. Navigating. Let's see if this changes it. When navigated to what? Because then maybe one of them works and one of them doesn't. That's a possibility, you know. I've done weird stuff like that before. Actually, we should probably put it at that layer. All right, so we've done the thing. We click the search button. It does the searching stuff. We'll come click the thing. Okay. Ha! Not the worst developer in the world, just not as good as I thought. So it hits the method and then does nothing? That's weird. Because like if the observable wasn't subscribed to it, I would expect it to not do anything, but instead it's actually doing some of the things. That's going to fall over because there's still no store. Store is still null. Because, yeah, okay, yep. Yay. At least my app doesn't crash, right? Like, that's a good thing, I guess. But now, see, and this is where Rodney starts to get mad at himself. Because this was working in my sample in the app. Oh, what am I doing wrong? Like when I had this pulled in as a submodule, all this stuff was working, right? Because I demoed it. Oh yeah, there we go. Reactive Fody stuff. I guess what we can do today is bring in some of the Win property change stuff that Glenn's been working on and swap it out. He did say on iOS it doesn't work the way I want it to, which is like, of course, the one platform that I develop for more than any other. Which is also funny because like somebody asked me something about iOS today. I was like, I don't know how it works. Irony much? Oh yeah, it was. I like every single time iOS pushes an update, for whatever reason, I automatically get the update. And every time my phone automatically updates, I go in and check my settings and turn it off. So I'm like, somebody's trolling me, right? Like, it's gotta be the world that's gone crazy. Speaking of which, we're probably gonna watch Pulp Fiction tonight, cause reasons. All right, so it's hitting the observable.create, but no one is actually subscribing to me. So let's go pull up the sextant code in a completely different thing, and we'll switch over to look at that. And we'll see why Rodney can't seem to make sense of simple things. Okay, yeah. This, come on, come on, come on. Come on, computer, give me control. I want control. Oh, we don't want that. And we had unit tests, so let's go to the terminal. Git pull origin main. All right, already up to date. Git git checkout dash b defect navigation. Let's just call it iNavigable. iNavigable. All right, we got a new branch. Let's figure this thing out. So what is going on? We've got we're doing a push. We're doing a push pop-up generic method. We are expecting it. No, push pop-up generic method with parameter, right? Yep. And we are expecting it to get pushed, and we are expecting a call to navigating to happen. Oh, first off, that's a lot of crap preconditioned stuff that's got to happen. All right. Who wrote this code? Whoever wrote this code should be flogged. I joke, I keyed. Alright, so we're digging into Sextant, and we are finding out that the push pop-up method calls the factory, okay. Calls the push pop-up thingy. Push pop-up does this really awesome thing where it does observable.start. It's observing on the current thread scheduler. It does the pop-up invoke view model navigating when navigating to. I think I see what the problem is already, and I'm already upset that this is what the answer is going to be. So, I had a conversation with a coworker earlier today, and they asked me the question of, hey, Rodney, if something inherits from iDisposable and it's a singleton, does its disposal actually matter? Man, let me tell you, it matters. It matters. Well, so what the consensus that I came to, or that we came to, was because it is a singleton, it will technically never really release resources. But if the garbage collector needs to release resources, it can release resources. So, is it safe to say that it will never actually have to call the disposal method while its life cycle is more or less static? The answer to that's yes. The reality of it is that you still really want to put the disposal. I was actually having, it's funny, I've been having the same conversations with people like a week before I had the actual conversation with somebody else. One of the things that I realize is you actually want to have your disposals wired up properly regardless, because you may have a new developer that'll come back behind you and say, oh, well, that's really neat, and they'll go take that and copy and paste it, and then off you go. Oh, now I'm even less concerned because we're already doing the thing. So now we're going to put this code everywhere. So yeah, so and I've had this conversation with Dan, and the more I have this conversation, the next version of this library is going to be really, really different, because I've had a lot of good conversation with Dan around why Prism does things the way they do it. So, why try and be super smart and reinvent the wheel? Yeah, obviously I'm going to be smart and reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, I'm going to learn from people that have already solved certain problems. And one of the problems that I'm running into here is that this implementation of the navigation service is technically meant to be registered as a singleton, where in Prism the navigation service is transient. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and I won't get into all of those reasons right now, but long and short, the navigation service actually probably should be transient, and the navigation service should really only just call out to the platform. So this in platform specifics, but in this concept, what we're talking about, the platform being Xamarin Forms. So I really, every time I go to the IOC container, I really want to construct a new navigation service, and I want to provide it a new navigation service because it wraps the iNavigation anyway, which is where the state is maintained and managed, and which is where the state should be maintained and managed, not in my own custom implementation of or my own wrapper. Let's call it what it is, a wrapper around that navigation service. So what I'm realizing is that I actually want to try and make this thing transient, because I think that'll give me a lot of lift around some of these issues that I'm facing. And in particular, the issue that I'm about to cause is anytime you call subscribe, you get an iDisposable back. And you want to clean up that disposal, or that disposable, right? Or the disposal of that method. So in reality, what I probably should be doing here is .subscribe, and then set it to dispose with the subscription or the navigation disposables. Now the reality is that this thing will, I actually need to check. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look into that and find out whether or not, if something is queued for disposal and the garbage collector needs to collect some back pressure, will it just dispose of stuff that it knows that it can dispose of? I would assume that it would, because iDisposable or disposed things have a thing that tell you whether or not it has been disposed. So that would lead me to believe that that is an accurate statement. But we can do the proper research ourselves. So we'll have to figure that out at another point in time, on another day. Over kill it at the moment. But this is actually probably what this thing needs. And I'm going to point out the fact that obviously my unit tests passed before, but they'll definitely pass now. And this may be a limitation of the mocking library that I'm using, right? This may be that, hey, I probably should not have done it this way. So I'll have to figure that one out. That's a tomorrow conversation. Yeah, everything's still green lights. So now what I'm thinking, does this invoke view model action, right? What am I doing? So let's think of it this way. If I give it a, an action, I actually played with this before. If I get it an observable and subscribe here, that's actually worse. So let's not do that. After I just had a conversation earlier about how extension methods can be bad. Yeah, they can be. I still love them, though. But that mean they can't be bad. So now I want to kick myself, because everything that I did to bring in that iPlugin.Popups is immediately negated by the fact that I caused this bug. And I actually want, I need an adult. I need an adult to tell me whether or not this is correct, if there's a better way to do this. I need an adult. Because clearly I am not one. Why don't you line those two things up? Oh, that's a lot of parentheses. So in Rider, there's this complexity calculation tool, which I love. It doesn't work great on stuff with observables, but we'll get there. One of the things it does is call complexity, and one of the things that I think it could track for observables is the number of parentheses that you have at the end, right, to determine how complex a thing is, because that would be the equivalent of the number of method calls that you have to do in order to be able to do something. So just a thought. Not that it matters at the moment. Tick, add to stack, and tick. All right, okay, so now we just accept the fact that it isn't actually doing... But wait. Because this code worked at one point. Oh, I got rid of the damn git submodule. Oh, but if I revert back... Yeah? Yeah, if I revert back to a previous commit that had the submodule, then I would be able to test whether or not what I'm talking about is correct. But in the interim, what we're going to do is we're going to commit all this other... I'm not going to commit that code. We are going to commit... Okay, so we're going to stage all that. If you're wondering, I'm actually looking at the diff on another program at the moment. Okay. Stage the file. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's fine. reducing code. I love any time I get to reduce the amount of code. All right, reducing. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go check out. Oh, yep. It's gonna yell because it's like, oh, well, you did the thing. Yep, I did the thing. Main. Let's check out main because main predates the change. Okay. So now let's take this thing. We're going to port our router instance back over to the other thing that we were already looking at because that has the stuff. All right, so now let's go back to our implementation. Let's just see if the previous implementation was actually calling the subscribe so we can just have like some peace of mind. One way or the other, I don't actually want to be doing the subscription. No, don't move stuff. I don't actually want to be doing the subscription. What are you going to do? I love how smart I am at times. Cause yeah, I got my get sub module back. It just ran all the things. Oh yeah, I was still doing push until pop here. Yay. If I just do that, it'll be fine. It won't matter because we're not actually going to use it. So we'll stop the thing. Oh man, did I actually just? I just checked out a branch while my emulator was running. If you've been around .NET long enough, you know that's a bad idea. Oh, now my sub module is broken because it's Sextant is not within the repository Git module. Oh, because I took it out. Damn it. Regardless, we continue to just go take a look and see what our implementation looked like. Yeah, all right. So we'll go look at the structure for the thing. Okay, that's F11. We don't really care about any of that. We just want to see this thing. This is the one we want. Scheiße. Okay. At least we know. And knowing is half the battle. Yep. I took some code out. They made it not work. I can go put that back in at another point in time. And I guess that'll be good. So let's start doing some more fun stuff now that we've figured out that we are the problem. No, we don't need that. We need the terminal. It is extremely hot in my office, folks. Give me one quick moment. Sorry about that, folks. It's like I live in Texas, and last week it was 7 or 8 degrees Celsius. This week it's like, I think the high today was like 25 degrees Celsius. So I cut the air off because who's wasting air conditioning in the cold, and I haven't turned it back on all week because it hasn't been hot enough, and today it got hot enough because it's something like almost 30 degrees in the house. So thank you for your understanding. All right, so we broke the thing, but now we just want to. Okay, so we'll just do get main. All this stuff needs to go away, or can go away. Delete. Gets rid of that. Now at least we know that main doesn't work, but we also want to bring in some of the stuff, so I'm going to start dumping links in chats. Yeah. So reactive marbles. Reactive marbles. So we've got some stuffs. 9 days ago he was working on those. Property changed. Boom. We got some stuff. Copy called property change. So we've started putting some of our kind of like our beta pre-release package stuff for reactive UI in this place called Reactive Marbles. It's really just a dumping ground for us to play around with stuff before we bring it into reactive UI proper, because we don't want corporations and people depending on stuff that's not half baked, not even half baked, right? It's just stuff that we're playing around with. So Glenn created some property change stuff that gives a lightweight fixture into property changes. What he says, limitations compared to reactive UI. He says at the moment it only supports identify property change properties. I thought there was something about iOS. Okay. The above benchmarks compares reactive UI when they value to when property change on every platform apart from iOS. New property changes outperform. So I just don't get anything special for changing on iOS, but on every other platform it's like, yay, it works. Okay. So we are going to go and find it on the NuGets. We're going to go grab the package reference directly. We're going to go stick the package reference here. Edit. Reactive marbles. Property changed. Yep, it's going to cause all kind of problems. Let's go to the terminal. Get status. Checkout dash B. Feature slash property changed. Boom. Okay, so now we got a feature branch for the changes we are about to make. Let's go break the stuff. Wait, did that just happen? Oh. I guess we don't get a choice. I guess we just have to push okay. This is the part where I'm going to go ahead and say that I feel smart. And I pushed code that doesn't work to the public NuGets, and now the whole entire internet is going to be able to judge me. Woe is me for being this horrible, horrible person that does the things. Pop stash. Conflict. Yep. Of course there's a conflict. We'll take that one. Resolving conflicts in Get Cracking. Don't mind me. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Commit the changes. Alright, so blah blah stuff. So, okay. So we got the property change stuff in. So now we can start doing So now we can change this from this when any value to when property changed. Which library is this? Something tells me this is dynamic data. Yep. How'd I guess? I guess because of the type, the context of the type. So now when I come back to Glenn's page, when property when property changes. I actually don't like that. Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm playing with this, because now I get a chance to talk to him about the API surface. Because I'm getting the sender and the value, and I just want the x dot value. Yeah, when the value is not equal to the thing. Okay, so this is potentially going to be a little bit different. I'm actually glad I'm using this now, because then I kind of get that out the way. So I'm going to convert all of these to use the new thing and to not use the reactive UI bit. Blum, blum, blum. I guess it's just going to be in the view models, huh? So all that is excess stuff. So okay. That's a good question. Do we have anything like that for when any observable? Okay, so we don't have a answer for when any observable yet. That's good. And again, I'm glad I am taking the opportunity to go through this. Because it gives me a chance to play with the API surface. This is literally why I'm doing it. It gives me a chance to play with the API surface and see whether or not the API surface is something that I like, whether or not I can make suggestions to Glenn about value not equal to null. This. Okay, all those things just are magically aligning, so that's good. Dot value not equal to null. Okay, so let's go Control Shift Find when any value. Property changes when property changes. X dot value save Control Shift Find when any value property changes. Burr. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so dot. So this API surface is forcing me to have to do more to get the value out, which I wonder. I wonder how we can make that better. I'll have to. But I am glad I'm getting a chance to take it for a spin, because if this is the direction that we want to go, I want to make sure that myself as a consumer of this library, no, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't go find the references. Why do you want us to create? Who knows why? I know why. We didn't put when property. Oh, no, we did. Oh, then I don't know why. Come on. Come on, Ryder, wake up. I know it's been a long week, and Ryder is like, dude, I've had enough of you and forcing me to do all this work. It is the weekend. Go in the week. Stop writing codes. Oh, can I not get to the when property changed on the actual thing itself? iSettings would have to implement iNotify property changed in order for this to work. iNotify property changed, which is weird. Yep, there it is. Damn it. That is awkward. So the reason why that's awkward is because, like, okay, check this out. iSettings is an interface, and in my opinion, iNotify property changed is an implementation detail of this interface, not something that really belongs on the interface itself. Had a similar conversation about iDisposable, right? Like, and I can get behind it, right? The reality of it is that no, it doesn't really belong. No, it's not really the right place for it. But are we going to be purists, or are we going to get things done? There's always a choice you got to make, and I don't envy the choice regardless. Sorry. So I don't like this being here just so that I can get access to do this. But if you'll notice, this is different than what we were doing in the other one, right? This is actually saying, hey, I'm taking in a thing that I want, and I'm going to get a property change off of it, versus all the rest of them we're doing like this dot property change, which gives us the view model base, which inherits from reactive object, which in turn gives us access to the thing that we actually want. So this is a little weird, but I'm going to let that roll for now, just again, because I'm trying to play with the API service. I'm trying to see how it works. So there's a couple of things that we can already come back to give feedback on. Yeah, because see, notice this one does this when any value. So this is a thing that already notifies property changes, so that's not a problem. Select X value. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at these implementations. I'll probably look at this stuff this weekend if I got time. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see if Rodney has time. But if Rodney does not make time, how could he ever have time, right? Yeah, that's that Merovingian matrix nonsense. All right, so yeah, I got to do an extra step to get the value out, which is actually similar to when any. Now that I think about it, so if I change this to like when any x, come on. Oh yeah, I have to do everything in here. I have to give it a func here. Yeah. Okay, so so this is some history about when any value, right? When any value came up to solve this. Notice how I had to select out. Let's actually put this code side by side so that we can see, right? So let's do this. Hey, and let's do some Control Z stuff. Let's put the code side by the side so we can talk about the thing that it does, right? Okay, so when any value, and more stuff and junk, right? These are all just really extension methods on top of things that are hidden underneath that give you some RX lift, right? So this is basically just stuff that got written that you would probably eventually write yourself, right? So it's no magic here. But see, notice when any, you have to select out the value, right? When you do when any value, you no longer have to provide that selector, and we, under the hood, provide you the value of the property under the hood for you out of the box. What this when, oh, Oh, it does have an expression, but you can pass in a null expression. Is that what that is? Oh, did I just misread that? Let's go look at the implementation. This object to monitor product. No, 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 no. We whiffed on that one. We whiffed on that one. Object return when property changes. When property changes. Yeah, okay. Okay. There we go. So yeah, okay, so this does hold true. So what this when any was, and this was the original operator that was written, right? And it was when any, and it became when any, and it was you get the value out, and then they realized, wait, most of the time what I want to do is just get the value out anyway. I really don't. Half the time I don't care about the sender of the property change notification. I just care about the property change notification itself. So when any value became I wouldn't call it really a wrapper around, but it became the thing that you could use to always get the value. So when any value changed is really what it should be. But when any value from this property change notification, I'm actually going to propose some changes to this. Anyway, so now that I'm playing with this is actually good because like I'm playing with this so that I can actually start seeing how it works, so I can start to affect how it's built. Trying to be a better maintainer. Yeah, trying to help Glenn so you don't have to do all the damn heavy lifting. We joke about that quite often. Is I try and tell him like, man, I'm trying to make it so that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting, Glenn. I want to prove that I'm smart too. But he's got way more years of experience with RX than I do, so I enjoy learning from Glenn because he's really brilliant. Anyway, so now we've got this when property changes, but we have to select out from the tuple, and I also don't like that. The fact that that's a tuple honestly bothers me, but we'll get there. Yeah, so we're just selecting out the string, which is the value, and then we're pumping the value in. So this is actually kind of like the evolution of how this happens. So it's funny that we're getting back to a when property changes that gets us actually closer to the original when any value or the when any than it does the actual when any value. So we need to figure out a smarter way to make that happen. Because me, Rodney, having to select that stuff out all the time. Thank you. It's Friday, and instead of having whiskey on Friday Night Whiskey and Code, my wonderful wife has just come home from braving the craziness of the world, and she has provided me a thing. And I'm purposely turning the label so that you can't see it, hopefully. All right, so oh, this is crap we wrote. We need to rewrite that. We need to make that not suck. Actually, you know what? This isn't half bad now that I think about it. I can just put this thing right here. I'm going to inline that sucker because that's way more readable, right? You can read that way better. I can. Ugh, and then this is not to writer's detriment, but like it's doing the thing again. All right, so that's better. We'll keep it that way. Appearing, disappearing. We're just gonna reselect out unit.default, which I am pretty sure. So, Rich Bryant, because I'm horrible with names. Yeah, Rich Bryant has this outstanding thing to create a better unit. Right now, there's a system.reactive, and in system.reactive, there's a unit, but no one wants to take a dependency on system.reactive, right? Because I guess system.reactive has like leprosy or something, or it's like the new plague, and once you do it, you don't ever want to stop doing it. So maybe it's a drug that people don't want to get involved in. I don't know what the reasons are, but I know a number of prominent developers in the community that really do. It's my stream. I can say what I want. They take a shit on System.Reactive. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to depend on System.Reactive. And it's like, okay, dude, that's cool and all, but you're missing out. Let me tell you. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you. You're missing out. But I am seeing a resurgence of a need for a struct type unit in .NET proper, right? Like in the core framework, we need a unit. So we need like a system.unit that just gives us a unit. And Rich Bryant has a RFC out for that. I actually need to. I'm gonna stand up and put it to do on my board to follow up. System dot unit. I'm gonna go put some traction on that thing like this weekend. I'm gonna call people up on the internets and piss them off and tell them we need this thing and to help me make the thing a thing. All right. So anyway, now that we've yeah, this is actually not tea. This is root beer. Yeah, we're gonna go with root beer. Yeah, but we're gonna help push that system.unit stuff along so that we can get a unit that people can depend on outside of system.reactive, because like there's a couple of libraries. I want to say Dry IOC has a unit implementation. I know for a fact Mediator has a unit implementation. There's C# language extensions that has its own unit implementation. And as you know, when you go to bring things in and they have, the same thing across different namespaces, you get a context menu which says, which one from which namespace do you want to resolve? And in reality, they all want to do the same thing. They just want a return type. They have all gotten, and I'm going to be a really rude person, they have all gotten bitten by the void. Yeah, the return of void. Because return of void is actually the same thing as null, right? I'm at the point where I'm lumping void and null in the exact same thing, because null was a huge mistake and returning void is like the worst thing you can do in like most cases, right? Because returning void is actually again, just like null is the absence of a thing, returning void is the absence of a return type. So it's not like you're actually returning anything. You're literally just saying, hey, I'm going to go execute this thing. Yeah, it's kind of like sonar, right? Like if there's no bounce back, you don't get any feedback. If you don't get any feedback, you don't know if it succeeded or not. So because everybody needs a way to just represent a task outside of the task parallel library, right? I just need a notification that says I am complete. Everybody's creating their own unit implementation because they've probably seen it in RX and they're like, yeah, unit's good enough. Even though I actually don't like the term unit, but whatever, we're using it. So we're trying to get system.reactive to create a NuGet package called system.unit maybe, so we can bring in unit.default from there, and everybody in the community can depend on a single thing, but it can exist outside of system.reactive, so that way the community isn't forced to take a dependency on system.reactive and cry and complain and learn something awesome and new. Bueller. Anyway, so I'm gonna get off that soapbox and stop being. Yeah, Mediator is actually probably like one of my favorite libraries. If it's okay, of all the open source libraries that I came to that really gave me lift, I will say that Mediator was probably like the first real one that I was like, I plugged it into my application and immediately saw value. And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So, I want to help out Jimmy Bogart and get him a unit.default that he can return and not have to depend on system.reactive, because if Mediator depends on system.reactive, then everything depends on system.reactive, and all of the purists will be like, well, there's no need for me to have it, so I don't want to have to take a dependency on it. Well, if you're dealing with a native application, the linker links that stuff out, so like I don't know why you actually care, but I get it. It's more, if you're looking at it from like a domino effect, right? You are taking dependencies on stuff you don't need, which takes longer for your CI system to resolve those dependencies when it calls to NuGet. If there's no caching system like in I don't know, Azure DevOps, where you can't cache your dependencies. Then you have to go get those dependencies every single time. And then that just increases build times, right? Now, every single build time has an extra N number of milliseconds. I don't know what that N is, but every millisecond counts when we're talking, you know. So yeah, I get the reason to not want to have that dependency on system.reactive. So, you know, don't hear what I say and be like, oh, Rodney's an ass because he doesn't understand why people don't like it. Yeah, I know. Some of those people aren't having an issue with just taking a dependency. They have an issue with taking a dependency on system.reactive. And to them, I say, I will educate you yet, sirs and madams and misses. Is that all of them? Does that cover everything? If I missed anybody or anything, I apologize. I'm still learning. I'm still new to the whole thing. So, yeah, you peoples. I guess you can't say you people either. See, like I can't use any global generalization anymore. This is really problematic for me because I just want to use guys. See, even that's wrong because it's only guys, but I don't mean just guys. I mean you people. But then I say you people, and then like the you people are mad. So, you know, maybe I say those people, them people, but then I'm not included, but I am included. It's too confusing. Can't we all just go back to, you know, anyway. La 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 la. So yeah, so we got the win property change stuff. So we're gonna fire this thing up. We did not mean to click the start button. We want to click the debug button. We're gonna fire this thing up and see what happens. Hopefully my wife was awesome enough to put another couple of those in the refrigerator for me. Carbon units. But then somebody says that they are not a carbon based life form. Like, and then like, you know, like, well, I got nothing. Like that's the whole point. Like I got nothing anymore, and I just want to refer to this group of people. That's all. Ooh, you broke it. Holy shit, you broke it. Cannot convert. Oh, boo. What the hell did we break? When property changed. Cannot bind to tuple. What? Cannot convert system.value. Cannot convert system.value tuple to a read-only observable collection on store card view model to system.collections. To fix this, register an I binding type converter. Oh, no. That's way too much. Yeah, we're going to solve this. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Now we have to do a dot where the value isn't there and select out the value. Come on. You can do it. We're probably going to do that in a couple of more places, but we'll let the application explode. Oh, man. See, I don't know. Friday night, writing code, hanging out with people, hanging out with interesting people. I love it when random people just stop in and start asking questions. That always makes me happy. But it's always good to see people that I know, too. Cannot convert. Cannot convert. Where is the last place in... Oh, we're doing this. We're not even constructing the page anymore. Generic. Okay, so system.value tuple. To fix this, I do not want to go through that level of fidelity to get something simple to work. Man, am I glad I did this tonight. Now I'm getting a chance to find all kind of problems. Reactive UI property binding implementation. Oh, I may not even be able to use the old bindings at all. This could be a problem. Line 33, store categories. So I'm getting that. I'm getting the value. Okay, let's stop this because we're not going to get the fidelity into it that we want. All right, so search category, store categories is an IEnumerable of strings, which makes sense. I have a value. Oh, derp. We got to do the same thing here. And everywhere we want to do the stuff. Oh, man, this is going to get really complicated. Okay, so let's do a Control-Shift-Find for bind 2. And let's make sure that everywhere there's a bind to, there is a select on the when property changed. Yeah, did you see that? I did that in the context menu. Boom, let's do the thing. Because like it's Saturday morning for some of my friends. Like I got friends on the other side of the earth that it's Saturday morning for them. And this is like they wake up and they come hang out on Saturday morning, and it's like, hey, this is great. I'm hanging out on Friday night drinking root beer or whatever, and you're waking up Saturday morning having eggs and toast and maybe some avocado. Probably not, because if you're not close to Mexico, you don't probably have as much access to avocado, or it takes longer to get there. Although I have seen like some like it might have been like some Asian style avocado that was like ridiculously large. Oh, all right, great. Let's switch the view so you can see what I see. So now our application is loaded, which means our when property change stuff worked. So we click the search button. We still are broken there. That's fine. We can fix that later, but at least we swapped out our property change notification implementations, and that's exciting. We got the pharmacist events back working, but that was a .NET 5 issue. So like I feel like I should keep a pen and a piece of paper here as I'm doing my live stream, because I feel like I find a lot of like consumer issues during live streaming that I don't want to lose context on, so I can come back to them later and make RX UI awesomer, mo awesome. Cool. Ooh, we definitely clicked the wrong button, because now we're gonna come back. Yep. And there's an exception. Ooh, you get to see my dirty laundry. I love it when I get to air my dirty laundry for the entire internets to see. Ooh, what do we break? View stack stuff, pop modal. Oops. You know what that means, right? That means there's nothing on the stack for it to pop. But then why am I getting... Oh, I know why I'm getting that now. It's creating a whole nother set. Oh, I'm in a state that I can't get to. I can't get out of. Damn it, I have to stop it. Well. This is fun. We're having fun, right? Fun, yay. Breaking stuff. It's what I do. It's what I do best. I am the best breaker of the things. But if you don't break them, like, do you know how to put them back together? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know how people feel about that. I'm of the mindset where me breaking it shows that I know how to fix it. Okay, yeah. So I clicked. Yeah. So okay, that's what I didn't show. So this is okay. So this is a dynamic data-driven list, and I think I actually want to still change this to like an iOS segment control. Believe it or not, because I know you're looking at it like, oh, Rodney, this is actually like I think this is like a collection view here. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a collection view. I'm pretty sure this is a list view. And I'm pretty sure this is just like a horizontal collection view. And I just select a collection. And then I just go and slim down the dynamic data list based on that. Let's actually go look at that code real quick, because I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked at this code in months. I'm not sure if I know what it does. So my view models are somewhere else. Come on, view models. It's going to be the search view model. Yeah. And there is a filter. So the filter function is going to come through as an observable. The filter function is going to be here. And the filter function happens when I do the thing and stuff, right? The filter function happens when I push buttons. Which button? This, that's the search. Category, here we go. Okay, so yes, I'm taking in the category from the screen. So whatever the category is, I just do the category contains this. I actually want to make this not suck. I found a better way to do this. Well, not a better way, a different way to do this, which does like string ordinal stuff, and that's pretty interesting to me. So I actually want to performance test it to see which one is more performant, because I'm that anal. I'm actually getting into some pretty heavy performance stuff. Like I've got an app that I'm working on right now that has like performance loading issues when it's loading like large sets of data. Some of that is the database that it's going against, but some of it is also like some of the calculations we're doing on that data once we pull it in from the database. So I'm starting to get into like wanting to do way more performance testing of like minute things that no one ever would ever care about, right? Like you would never care about, doing two string dot two lower and all that stuff, right? But it adds up. So we're gonna call the filter function, which is this filter function, which this should actually be. What? Did you see that? I don't think you saw it. I don't think you saw that. I can make my local method. Ryder is telling me make local function filters static. Holy shnikes. I can make a private local function static. Oh, man. And I didn't think I was going to care about these local functions. I literally was like, oh, local functions. Yeah, it'll be whatever. Dude, let me tell you, this is bananas. Sure, we'll do that. Because why not clean up code? I'm actually going to come back behind some of this stuff and add some more C# language extension stuff at Rich's behest, because Rich was like, hey, Rodney, you need to, not suck. And he's right. He's right. I should suck less and do more declarative. Because, like, it's declarative-ish. And that's kind of what I'm realizing. Like, I started to realize a couple of months back that my code is majority declarative, but there's still some, like, it could get better. And then Rich Bryant showed me the C# language extensions, and I was like, holy shnikes, I am found. So trying to find a way to make that better. I just changed code, so I'm gonna have to rerun this. So yes, that's what's happening. So this filter is happening here, and then I'm just binding out to the stores that are gonna be displayed. So anytime I click one of these things, the filter function gets called, and then I only display that thing. But then if I click search, maybe. No, search won't clear it. Or does it? Yeah, search does clear it. Yeah, search does clear it, right? So if I do restaurants and Velvet Taco is the top one, and then I click search, now Randall's is the top one. Okay, so that does work, and that is good. Okay, so I feel like we've talked about a lot of code today. We haven't written a lot of code today, and I'm okay with that for the most part. Are you going to tell me? Yeah, you're going to tell me to rename it back to what I already had it. I feel like I got to figure out what people are doing around these local functions. I'm going to ask some smart people about that this weekend and say, hey, how do you name your local functions? And by smart people, I mean I'm going to poll the Twitterverse and get them to tell me what I'm doing wrong, because, if Twitter says it's right, obviously it's got to be right. Anyway, so store names is not actually being projected out or used anymore, which is good. So we don't have an implementation for when any observable, which we would need for the property change stuff. Because I feel like when any observable and when any value are the ones that I use the absolute most. I actually want to look at dynamic data's implementation of when property change, because they actually wrap your property change in some thing that gives you access to the sender, and I actually think I prefer that approach than just returning the tuple. Because value tuples are annoying and awesome all at the same time. Like, I love value tuples, don't get me wrong, but I'm not the type that really wants to be returning tuples everywhere. I really do prefer strong types. I come from a strongly typed language background. Like, I've always preferred strongly typed languages. It's why I'm not a JavaScript fan, not because I think JavaScript is bad, but because it violates too many of my own personal rules that I have created in my brain for how I write code. That is literally it. If it wasn't for JavaScript's duck typing, I would probably write more JavaScript. And it's funny because JavaScript duck typing is the thing that people love about JavaScript and one of the sells to it. And I agree, it's great. I just don't want to do it all the damn time. I prefer strongly typed languages. It's my preference. Anyway, so we got stuff and things, and we do stuff and things, and all of this seems to work. So now I know that if I go click, that's broken. I'm going to hit that. I should probably... Ooh. Let's talk about the fact that method probably should error if this... Yep. I'm not doing the thing here. And it's because I'm creating a new request. But, okay, why does it say... Oh, because that's the type. Yeah, request. This needs to be changed to request. Because naming things is hard. Okay, so we're enqueuing the new request. We're doing some change set stuff. So let me actually go look at this real quick because I've been writing some stuff around these things. Really? That's the inner subscription. Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. So it's returning this observable every time. So yeah, I probably should start doing these things, catching the thing, doing this stuff. I actually am probably going to do that later tonight. I'm going to write some logging methods. Let me ping the Driscoll and see if he's awake. Well, I know he's awake. See if he's at his... Alright, so we pinged the guy about the thing. This is not using the scheduler, which means this is definitely not doing something right. Oh, yeah. I have to do statements in here to come back and add the retry on logic. So doing some poly type stuff without actually having to use poly. Underscore API client.blob cache, change set, ref count, queue, subscribe, reserve.create. Okay, so all of this stuff is like looking good. The fact that the property change stuff is working is definitely a step in the right direction. So I think I'm satisfied with the results of today's stream. Like we got a chance to prove that we definitely broke something in Sextant.Plugins.Popup. So that means I have a bug I got to go fix. Yay. We swapped over to Reactive Marble's property changes, or property changed, and I have some thoughts and opinions to offer on that now that I've consumed it a touch. And we've got our app kind of more or less, cleanly working. So I'm pretty satisfied that we've actually done some stuff today. I didn't really have a plan for today. I just kind of the first thing I wanted to do was look at Sextant and see and make sure that I didn't break anything, which I did. And then I wanted to look at, which reminds me, I need to write a to-do list after I get off the stream because I got a lot of stuff to do. I've been slacking the past like 2 months. I've been like, yeah, open source, don't feel like it. It's probably bad, but whatever. Yeah, because that ad does not work, and I want that to work. Because it's not getting the store out on the WinNavigated 2. So that was working when I did my demo. It is not working now. Okay. We will fix that and make that better. Anyway, it's almost 8:30 here. I feel like I have accomplished some things today. While we're at it, right? Terminal, get status, get feature migrating to reactive.marbles or reactive marbles. Property changed. I hope that's right. I'm gonna go back and look at the thing that I posted. Yeah, property changed. Migrating to React Marbles property changed. Boom. Do the thing. We will come back behind in a little bit and look at some more stuff. Oh, wait. Ooh. Ooh, let's delete the folder. Yeah, so that's like an ugly stain on our record. That's the Git submodule that we added to make all this stuff work because it just became too difficult to try. I had some bugs I had to fix on Sextant, and then I had some other stuff I had to fix, and blah 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 blah. Long and short, I just needed a branch where I could work on the two. I could work on the feature while I was working on the app because I wanted the feature to. I was using the app as an excuse to implement the feature. There we go. So here we are, and why is SocialQ there as opposed to in reactive marbles? See, this is where I question, like, do I make good choices in life? Let's yank that. Let's do git add this is not really a feature. This is just housekeeping. Removed sextant git sub module. All right, so now if we do git push origin feature property changed. Yay, we have a push. We have stuff there. Okay, so it's Friday. It's 8:30. I think I'm hungry. I'm pretty sure my wife has dinner somewhere. So I'm going to go be a happy husband and go consume whatever she has put in front of me. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Camzone, thank you for coming and hanging out with me on Friday night and interacting with me. I do appreciate it very much. Come back next week. Catch me on the interwebs, on the Twitterverse. If you have questions, if you have topics you want me to cover, let me know. I'm happy to stream about all the RX. I'm on a mission. I was on a live stream. I was on something earlier today, and somebody asked if you could remove or if you could add a feature to .NET and take away a feature, but in return you had to take away a feature. What would the feature be added, and what would be the feature removed? I stated in plain English that I would bring system.reactive into the system namespace and remove events from .NET completely, to which every single person agreed, which is interesting because most .NET devs are like, no, give us events, and I'm like, no, use the RX. Yeah, anytime. Like I said, I don't mind. Like, I'm glad I was able to give a guided tour around Sextant. I was able to show off a new feature, which is another thing I wanted to do today. So yeah, we got a chance to look at it. But the main thing I was telling them was like observables are really the evolution of events, right? And I really think that had we in the .NET space not been we're Microsoft and we can do what we want, and we had actually looked at the patterns and practices ahead of time, because like System.reactive came as a result of some work that Microsoft did in 2009. Yeah, 2009. So, yeah, events are kind of had a purpose at the time, but now we've realized that we should be using the Gang of Four observer pattern, to which reactive extensions is a cross-platform specification for how to implement said observer pattern. So now what we really have that came from Microsoft is a set of cross-platform specifications for how to implement the observer pattern. But yet Microsoft doesn't have it in its own framework as a first-class citizen, but like every other language in the world does. So yeah, I'm on a vendetta. 2021. I'm vying for my own full-fledged RX wizardry patch. I want to get a patch. I can wear it proudly, and by patch I mean a hat. And that hat I'm going to wear on stage anytime I talk about RX. So next year, when COVID is no longer a death sentence and it's just a normal flu type thing, and you see me on stage at a conference, expect to see me in a nice RX wizard hat. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, thanks again for joining in. I talk a lot and we're shooting shit, but you're right. Yeah, he sees it. And you know which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about that Fantasia Mickey Mouse hat. Yeah? That's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. And everyone's like, Rodney, you're not really going to do that. And I'm like, oh no. and oh no, this is a thing. This is happening. We're like, I'm gonna stand there, and I might even give you a couple of moves from Fantasia just because, because I got jokes. Anyway, the RX wizardry never stops around these parts. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time.